everyone. Welcome to episode number 69 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Sorry for the delay. I had forgot to charge my computer, so I was frantically trying to get it charged up quickly. But I think we're all good now. For anyone new here, we do these live streams every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific to make sure we answer your questions or staying in tune with you and going through the process that you guys always go through with your shows. And we always mention at the start of every stream our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Let's see who we have in here tonight. We have lots of exciting topics. And Andre, thanks for joining us. Johnny, nice to see you here. Oh, I just clicked there. The first subject, while I go through the comments that I wanted to chat about. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder here. Oh, yeah. Of course, Ross is going to be live this Wednesday. I always mix up. He does them every other week. I always get them mixed up. But he will be live this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So make sure you catch Ross. His last live stream was great. He just chats about everything that's going on in the live streaming world and has exciting guests that talk about relevant subjects like how to grow your live stream, marketing tips, and things like that. So be sure you tune in. The other thing we wanted to mention is there was a minor issue with overlays for Chrome. Do you want to speak briefly to that, Dan?
Yeah, for sure. So it was kind of a weird one. It was just like a little Chrome bug where once in a blue moon, if you play an overlay, it would like not play for you or take a few extra seconds to start. And that's been fixed. We've figured out our way around that one. So for anyone who maybe like clicked an overlay and it's just like, this is taking a little while, that's been resolved.
Right on. One of the subjects we wanted to talk about tonight that's been coming up a lot, I think partly just because of the number of musicians we have on the website. This isn't just musicians, though. This is sometimes people that just want to play music in general, is background music. And we had a few questions for you guys about this just because we're sort of hesitant to add it just because of the copyright issues on the platforms. I know it happens all the time when they play their favorite hit song in the middle of the live stream that the platforms aren't going to be a big fan of it and they just get cut off in the middle of the live stream. So we've always been to facilitate because we don't want people accidentally getting banned on the places they're streaming to. So the first thing we wanted to ask about this is like, what's the type of music that you're wanting to use? Because obviously we don't want to facilitate copyright music. So is it the type of music where it's just maybe like a subtle nature background that you want to have going while you do your interview, or is it like actual full songs where you want to like listen to the song with your audience? We're curious what ways that you actually want to use background music, just because we want to make sure we don't accidentally release something where people are getting banned left and right and they don't understand why.
Cool. You're breaking up for me a little bit.
If you have any opinions on that.
I don't know if other people see that as well, or I'm not sure if it's internet on my end or on your end, but the fact that you're at 0% power makes me think it might be your end.
Yeah, my computer's dying, so it might be me. Let me close out of my other tabs.
Close everything. I've always wondered, because like sometimes when you plug in, especially on your phone, like if you're at like 0% and you plug in and you just like wait for it to be able to start, and then you stay plugged in, but you're running a lot of stuff, like technically you're kind of hovering at 0, so you might be hovering at 0 right now.
It definitely feels like I'm at like 1% in the corner. Hopefully my computer doesn't go out completely. If it stays charging, I'll be happy. Sounds like Michael's a big fan of adding Disney music. That would be an issue, I would imagine, because most of Disney stuff is heavily copyrighted. Sergio says, any plan in the future to add longer than 5-minute video clips? We do have a plan for more media sharing options in general. It probably won't be it won't be the same way overlays work, but we do have a plan to add a way for people to share videos that are just directly on their computers. So hopefully we'll address that for you at some point. 3D printing llama. Hopefully it's improving. I've got the computer plugged in, but it's very low on power. That's why we started a bit late. Can you hear me all right, Dan?
It's all right. You're definitely cutting in and out. It seems like it's if you just had a really bad Wi-Fi connection, or a pretty bad Wi-Fi connection, I should say.
Okay, fair enough.
But it hasn't crashed, so.
Good to go. Lots of comments that I'm lagging. Yes, I apologize for that. Hopefully, as it charges up, I'll start coming in more clearly. See what our next subject is unfortunately, this has been coming up a lot. There's an issue with Facebook profile comments. So Facebook just isn't returning the comments when you're streaming to a profile. Facebook pages and groups are working normally, but if you're going live to a profile, the comments aren't going to come into the studio regardless of the privacy setting. We've got a bug report open with Facebook, and we hope that they resolve it quickly. But unfortunately, until they look at it, there's a limited amount of things we can do because they're just not returning the comments. So we apologize for that. Another issue we wanted to quickly touch on was, unfortunately, there's been quite a few random things that have come up. Windows 10 screen sharing, just Chrome, has some issue. It's not all devices either, right, Dan? Do you want to maybe speak on this one?
No, we're trying to figure out exactly what devices it is. So like 1 in 10 or 1 in 20, we're not sure the exact numbers yet, of Windows 10 devices on Chrome when you're trying to screen share just closes Chrome for some reason. Like there's some sort of Chrome bug in the newest version. So we basically got a nice warning out that says like, hey, if you run into this, to share your screen, you have to use Firefox for now. Chrome's aware of this though. They're already working on it. So we're hoping it'll be fixed soon. And it does seem like not that many people are affected by it, fortunately. We're trying to figure out exactly what caused it. Like, is it just random? Is it people only on like desktops? So we're looking into that. Hopefully not affected by it. But yeah, Firefox does work for now if you need to share your screen. So at least there is a way around it.
Russ says, nice to see you, by the way, Russ. He would be using instrumental background music that is allowed by Creative Commons. So yeah, that would be the ideal thing that we'd be facilitating, because yeah, you're obviously allowed to use that. One thing we've even considered is having some like maybe some preloaded tracks that you guys could use. I'd be curious if how many people would see that as a positive, or would it just be like, no, we'd rather use our own? Would it be maybe nice if we had our own library of royalty-free stuff that you could use to have sort of like a nice ambient background? Let us know. We'd be curious.
And obviously, if you're one of like the few people that's kind of like just recording and you're not even streaming to YouTube or Facebook or anything, then you could play anything. But yeah, the copyright thing is unfortunate with especially YouTube and Facebook, who are all over that. But all platforms obviously don't want that.
Yes. Katie, I was actually gonna mention you during this town hall because I saw that in the group and I thought it was so cool. Katie made a post in the community group. Her live stream on Facebook, her local television station, saw the live stream and picked it up, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, if you're making relevant Facebook Live or LinkedIn Live or YouTube Live or any of the other platform content, you never know who's watching. Maybe you'll get picked up by your local station. That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Rob says I seem to be all right now. Well, that's good to hear. My destination training says, how long do the invite codes last? We actually changed this recently, so you might have to correct me, Dan, but I believe it's you have 15 minutes to join after the code is sent out. Is that right?
So I was wondering, when I read that, I was thinking guest links.
Oh, well, I guess we can answer both.
Yeah, so if you're talking about like when you're logging in, how long does the code last? That's 15 minutes. And then if you're talking about just the guest link, so I want to send this link to somebody, it's for that broadcast. So, and you can actually see when you're in a studio, like the link at the top, that's also the guest link. So each broadcast has a unique link. It lasts forever, or for the duration of that broadcast.
Absolutely. Dal asks, do you guys have any news on accessibility features? We don't have any updates on that front, but if you have any suggestions for us, Dal, contact@streamyard.com is the easiest way for us to manage those. Eddie says, do the plans include the ability to arrange the overlays in the broadcast studio? So that's separate from the video feature we were talking about, but I know that's a pain point for a lot of people. So at some point, at least at the very least, labels at some point will be introduced, and maybe we'll give the ability to drag and drop as well. Let's see what else we have here. Michael says, please do not allow music, especially for my guest on the stream. Yes, a guest. I've seen that happen before too, where a guest shares a video or something that where they don't realize that the song is actually copyright, and that can cause issues. So yeah, it's a tough one to deal with. I still would be curious what you guys think of having like some preloaded tracks that we know are royalty free, because I think that would be kind of nice if you did want some ambient sound. Ministerio would be using copyright free music. Beauty Bubbles wants bongo drums. Fair enough. Let's see what our next subject was. Oh, actually, there was one I missed at the beginning that I wanted to address because it was interesting. We might be past our comment limit now. Anyways, I heard that Canon is now offering in the comments actually an option to plug your Canon camera directly in with USB and have it act as a web camera. If there's anyone out there that has one of those that could confirm, I'd appreciate it, because actually it was in the comments where someone was asking if it would work with StreamYard, and if it is actually recognized as a web camera, it would. So if anyone's out there using it, I'd be very curious to know. The next topic we had that's come up recently is Twitch categories. So right now, when you do a live stream on Twitch, we automatically make it a talk show. And recently, there's been some people asking for us to have the option to choose a category. So we're curious, like, what categories you would use other than talk show. Like, would it? I'm not actually familiar with all the options on Twitch. I know there's IRL, there's podcasts and talk shows, and music, I think, is the most popular one. So if there's other categories you guys want, let us know which ones you'd be using. And if you're on Twitch, let us know. We never see too many people from. We actually aren't broadcasting on Twitch yet, so that's probably part of the reason why. Obviously, I wouldn't see any comments from there. But if you're live on Twitch, let us know how it's going. I'm curious what you think of that platform. It's still fairly foreign, at least to me. I need to spend more time checking it out.
And you used to be very familiar with it.
Yes, it changed a lot. I used to, yeah, in the early like 2011, 2012, I was on the platform quite a bit, but it's drastically different than it was back then.
Yeah.
Wendell says he hasn't been having any issues with copyright music. It's been fine. Good to know.
Cool.
The Cutting Edge TV says for the Canon, I believe. I appreciate that. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, I'll have to.
You're kind of back now.
Am I back, Dan?
Sort of.
All right. Sorry about that.
Okay, give it again. You're good now.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Cutting Edge. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, the power indicator on my computer is not going up.
Uh-oh. He's hanging on the edge.
You can't hear me at all, Dan?
No, you're good now.
Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Jaden says how to use full screen on StreamYard. So when you share a screen, Jaden, if the layout button on the far right, you can use the full screen, the layout or the solo layout icons on top of the tile itself also work, but the layout button is probably the easiest way to do it. Child Jam says it'd be nice to have multiple tabs ready and waiting instead of having to switch tabs. Yes, that's come up quite a few times. I think that's something that we hope to address with this new media sharing option we plan on adding. So basically, you'd be able to queue up a few different videos, and that way you wouldn't have to screen share your next one and whatnot. Russ says he would be a fan of a package of safe tracks. Good to know. Sounds like Bubba's also a fan of that. Johnny asking, what's the 5-minute video deal you mentioned? So recently we increased the time on overlays to 5 minutes. They used to be 30 seconds, but you can now upload up to 5-minute videos in the overlay section. As you can see, like, we started the stream off with a pretty long countdown video. I know that's been one of the most popular things people have been using. Lots of people have been sharing them in the community group, which I've been enjoying seeing how creative a lot of them are. Like, I think of a countdown video, I think there's going to be like variations, but no, definitely not the case. There's lots of different ones. Chris Rossetti says he's been having a good time with Conversations with Comedians show. That's cool. Yeah, I've been seeing it's definitely before this situation that happened. Obviously, we're not seeing too many comedians using the product, but it's now been, I think, over a dozen comedians using the product in various ways, which is obviously the circumstances are unfortunate, but it's interesting to see some of the different types of content that are coming out as a result. Red says, is it possible to have it not change my Twitch category when my stream starts? It always resets to podcasts. Yes, that might be possible for us to do, Red. I'm curious, what category are you generally streaming to? We'd be curious to know. Justin says, I noticed that Facebook is returning comments to the live shows. Do you know why they're doing this? Apparently it's intermittent. I'm guessing you're referring to the profiles, Justin. I didn't know it was intermittent. I thought it was just completely broken right now, but we do have a bug report open and are waiting to hear back. So hopefully it'll be addressed soon. And
they're pretty quick with this sort of stuff. Like anytime we've run into like, oh, pages aren't getting comments or we can't post to pages or something, they're usually pretty fast on these ones. So I'm hoping they'll have it resolved quickly. It is the weekend for them. We haven't heard from them yet. Like it might take till Monday sort of thing, but yeah, hopefully they resolve that one fast.
Brody says Audio Blocks is a good resource for free music. Thank you for that. Apparently TubeBuddy has some resources as well. Good to know. I didn't actually know that. Jane says we got shut down by FB Live 20 minutes into our event yesterday for copyright infringement. Yeah, that's the type of stuff that we hope to avoid. YouTube did not, but our recorded video is now blocked. I downloaded the audio from StreamYard and the audio is muted. So you shouldn't be muted on StreamYard. So if you message us on support, they should be able to help you out, Jane. But yeah, definitely want to be careful to make sure you're not playing copyright stuff on stream. Unfortunately, it's like because of the number of people online, I think a lot of people just don't even realize that's a problem. So that's also causing, just education is causing a lot of issues there as well, because people just don't realize that you can't do that, because you used to be able to do it, or you were never technically allowed to do it, but there didn't used to be like these super sophisticated automated systems that would just recognize it was copyright and take down the content.
Yeah. Yeah, YouTube's especially good, I find. They're good or bad, however you want to look at it. They're very quick and very, like you could have a little video in the corner or something that's like of some copyrighted content and they'll pick that up. It doesn't have to be like a full screen thing. They're all over that. For better or worse, I get the purpose of it. It is unfortunate when you didn't mean to do it though, obviously.
Sounds like lots of people are a fan of the preloaded track. So yeah, thanks for the feedback. That's good to know. Cool. Seeing lots of comments about someone needing the ban hammer, but I'm not seeing the comments, so maybe someone already dealt with it. Oh, I think I see him now. Here we go.
That's good.
All right. Yeah, so I guess that's maybe a cool thing to mention is you can actually, I don't recommend it because as you can see, it took me a while to actually deal with the person, but you can actually moderate directly from the StreamYard studio. But either way, it's always best to have someone on the platform itself helping out. I guess one other topic we wanted to touch on is we have another show starting in the community, the Facebook community for StreamYard, and Dana's going to be hosting that. She's going to be interviewing you guys, like interviewing StreamYard users. So if you're interested in participating, we have a Google form in the Facebook group. So just fill that out and Dana will schedule a time with you. And the first one will be on, there's not like a set date yet for when they'll be, but the first one is going to be this coming Thursday. So be sure to check that out. It should be cool. It's always fun hearing how people are using the product and and you can learn from how they're having success or not having success. So be sure to join the group and check that out.
Sweet. And just to reiterate, that's the Facebook group. So the StreamYard community Facebook group.
The StreamYard community Facebook group. That's right. Tane says, can you run a live video on 2 different business pages at once? Yes, you can absolutely do that. The basic plan of StreamYard allows you to go live to 2 places at once, and the pro plan is 5 places at once, and it can be any destination you want. So if you want to go to 5 Facebook pages, you can go to 5 Facebook pages. I think people underuse the just sharing option on Facebook. Like that's generally how I prefer to do things on Facebook, is just have your main page, like stream to your main page, because it'll be nice to have the original stream there because it has all your analytics. And if you ever decide to do Facebook advertising, it's much easier to do that from a Facebook page, and then just share it out to the other places you want to go live to, like share it out to your groups and your other pages. I find that to be the most effective. But if you do want to create the individual streams on all the places, you are completely free to do that.
And when you say share it out, are you just talking share the link or do like the Facebook cross posting?
There's a share button on Facebook to post it in the group, but it's essentially just sharing. It's essentially just sharing the link. I don't actually know if the share button does anything different than just posting a link and into the groups, but I just mean the share button on Facebook. Because the nice thing about doing that too is everybody ends up watching in the same place. So if you do ever decide to do an ad, all your engagement is going to come from the same video. Whereas if you create separate streams on all these different pages, each one is going to have its own view count, its own comments and whatnot. So it's a bit harder to manage.
Yeah, obviously there is still cases where you would want to do it though, but yeah, I get it. If they're like very similar related pages, that definitely makes sense.
Niger says he'd like to use NDI. Yes, that's come up a few times. We haven't spent much time looking into it. I'm not sure what can be done in the browser with NDI, but at some point we'll explore what's possible. Chris says closed captioning is working great during Facebook Lives. Yeah, that's really I just randomly discovered that. I don't know, maybe they made a formal announcement, but the way I discovered is there was people just asking like, did StreamYard add captions? Like, why are there captions on my streams? But yeah, I certainly appreciate the new feature. It's awesome. It has nothing to do with us. We didn't add captions, but Facebook now has captions automatically turned on, which is an awesome feature. I'm sure it's going to get better and better. I've heard some people complain a bit about the words being a bit incorrect, but I'm sure it'll get better over time.
Yeah, it's very good, right? For a lot of us don't really think about this when we're on the publishing side, but when you're on the viewing side, things are often muted, right? You're on your phone scrolling through Facebook, it's muted. Captions are a great way to kind of get people where they can't actually listen to the video, but they can still consume it. Very effective.
Yeah, I consume lots of content without audio on. 3D Printing says, not sure if it's a StreamYard thing or an Apple iPad thing, but sometimes I want to use my iPad as a second camera, but the audio won't shut off. Yes, that I don't know why it works like that, but for some reason you can't fully turn off the on any sort of calling type application. You can't turn the volume fully off on iOS or Android. It's Android too, right, Dan?
I think so. Yeah.
On Android or iOS devices, which if you want to have it as a separate camera angle is annoying because essentially to remove the possibility of echo, you have to plug in headphones. So we'll most likely add a button at some point because a button to just like mute speakers essentially, because I don't know why, but you can't fully turn off the volume.
Yeah, I've never understood that. It's always weirded me out, right? On like tons of apps, you're scrolling down to the volume, like turn it off, and it's just it's at minimum, but it's not off.
Yeah, it seems like all communication apps are like that. Red says he's generally in music and performing arts. So yeah, that was my question about the category. Appreciate that, Red. Tony says he's doing live karaoke. I think I actually saw one of your streams in the group. Tony, it was very, very cool.
Sweet.
Brody says, is there a link for external cameras that work with SY? We don't have a resource for that, but that's a good idea because it comes up a lot. So we'll try to create that, Brody, because I know that's a common question is like, will this camera work or will that camera work? The general rule is anything that's a web camera will work fine. So we always recommend web cameras just to keep things simple because StreamYard will automatically recognize it and you won't have to fiddle around with a capture card or any extra devices. So general rule is if you're purchasing a camera, see if it advertises itself as a web camera and then you'll know it'll work. Anything else, you generally can get it to work, but you might need to have like a Elgato Cam Link or something like that. All right. Well, there's tons of questions, and we did not get to nearly all of them, but we're past time now. But I thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's awesome to do these live streams every single Sunday. We'll check back on the comments and try to hit on the important ones during our next live stream. But this was episode number 69 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. I apologize for my battery and being a bit late. I'll make sure I'm fully charged next time.
You're getting better. You got better throughout, I think. Yeah, it'll be charged. Cool. Have a